All right, YouTube folks everywhere. We are about a minute late starting, but we're here, and we're going to do this thing, and we'll see what happens. So let's go on the air right away here and see if seems like there's a lot of delay. Um, I don't know why there's so much delay. Seems like there's an awful lot. But in any case, I'm going to have to turn the audio down on this. Let's see if the mute button will work this time. There we go. All right, let's kick this thing into gear. Where's my script? Good evening, and welcome to the North Georgia GMRS Regional Net. Tonight, I'll be working off of the flagship 675 machine, and this evening we are linked in with the following repeaters: Lookout Mountain, Somerville, Jersey, Crawford, Moreland, McDonough, Noonan, Zebulon, and of course our VoIP Zello link. Tonight our RF coverage is approximately 31,000 square miles. But with our VoIP link, we are worldwide. Anyone with an internet connection can use VoIP to check into the net from virtually any place. So that's pretty cool. This net takes place every Thursday evening at 7:30 p.m. I'd like to thank everyone who has made the North Georgia GMRS the most expansive and active GMRS network in the country. Your net control tonight is Atlanta 946, WQIR 514. My name is Justin, and I am located at Studio B, right here in Woodstock, Georgia. On the net, you can talk about your day's activities, radio equipment, or anything you think we'd like to hear. This is a family-based network, so we encourage you to get your family involved. Once the floor is open, it is permissible to address other members of the net by name or tactical unit number. Your FCC call sign is only required when you sign in and sign out of the net. At this time, I will acknowledge early bird check-ins. Let me break. Our early bird check-ins are Atlanta 442. Craig in Ackworth was on his way home and is probably there by now. Thank you, Craig, for checking in with us tonight. We have Noonan 80. Michael in Noonan checking in and out with us this evening. Thank you, Michael, for checking in. Hope you're able to monitor. We have Atlanta 83. Pete in Dahlonega. Pete is in and out with us this evening. Had some tasks to tend to that kind of came up all of a sudden. We also have Atlanta 780 Houston in Holly Springs checking in with us this evening. Thank you, Houston. We have Atlanta 403 Bobby in White County monitoring all of our digital modes of communication, checking in and out with us this evening. We have Atlanta 172 Greg in Bremen, who is in and out with us this evening, but might chime in. It just depends on how his evening goes. We have Chattanooga 65 Andy and Ulawa in and out with us this evening. We have Atlanta 26 Flip in the beautiful Druid Hills in with us this evening. We have Atlanta 285 CV in Murrayville also in with us this evening. Great to hear from you, CV. We have Atlanta 402 Todd in Cumming in and out with us tonight. Thank you, Todd, for that check-in. We have Atlanta 286 Lynn in Murrayville and Atlanta 287 Trey in Murrayville. It's great to hear from both of you tonight. Looking forward to hearing from you. We have Atlanta 721 David in Southwest Paulding County on a job site tonight. Thank you, David, for checking in. We have Atlanta 586 Paul checking in from the flagship machine. It's great to hear from you, Paul. We have McDonough 22 Tim checking in from Stockbridge. It's great to hear from you, Tim. We have Chattanooga 58 Bill on the Lookout Mountain machine checking in. I haven't heard from Bill for a couple of weeks, so I'm looking forward to catching up with Bill. We have Noonan 90 Mark in Noonan checking in and out tonight. Thank you, Mark. We have Atlanta 138 Robert in Auburn at band practice checking in and out tonight. Thank you, Robert. We might hear from him if practice ends early enough. We have Atlanta 252 Shad in Emerson, and we have Atlanta 312 Stacy in Emerson. Those are our early bird check-ins. Let me break. I remembered. We'll see how long that lasts.
This is Atlanta 434, Ron from Cumming. I'm going to check in and check out tonight. I got a pool tournament to play.
All right. Well, then, I guess at this time I'll start taking check-ins. Ron, I'm going to go ahead and acknowledge you so that you can get off to your pool tournament. But thank you for jumping in here and getting that check-in. I've got you in here as in and out, Atlanta 434, Ron incoming. So those are early bird check-ins, and thanks to everyone who's taken the time to check in early. Now begin taking additional check-ins. When signing in, please speak slowly and clearly as you give your name, your call sign, your tactical unit number, and your location. Let's go ahead and take any additional VoIP check-ins. VoIP only, please. Net control standing by. We've already got all of our VoIP check-ins. That was probably Bobby. I wonder where Donald is tonight.
Negative to check-in. WKRU 424, Atlanta 101, Bill, Larryville, Georgia.
Larry. Let's see if we can figure out who Larry is. Larry, 101. That's Will Arendt. Now, I had low audio on that check-in, but I heard Atlanta 101. And I heard Larry, and I don't think that's quite right. So can you come back and clarify your tactical unit number, your name, and your location, please?
Will in Bradenton, Georgia. WKRU 424, Atlanta 101.
All right. I'm not sure I got a better copy on that or not. I still have Atlanta 101, and when I look in our membership guide, that shows me that that would be Will in Blairsville, but I don't think that's what I heard, so that's why I'm a little confused. But we're going to go with that for the time being, and if that's incorrect, maybe you can come back and clarify whether or not this is Will in Blairsville or not. Net control going to stand by for any additional VoIP check-ins.
This is Atlanta 912, WQXN 735, checking in.
All right, net control acknowledging Atlanta 912, Alfonso. Are you still in Alpharetta, Alfonso?
Sorry about that. I haven't checked in so long. Forgot everything. This is Alfonso from Marietta.
Marietta. I don't know why I was thinking Alpharetta. But all right, I'll make that correction here, and we'll get you in there. All right, I think that's enough for the VoIP check-ins. Let's go ahead and look for any guests, visitors, or new users. This is anyone who is a GMRS license holder but is not a member of North Georgia GMRS, or any first-time check-ins, or any guests, or any youth members, any of the kids that would like to check in tonight. Please call Net Control now.
This is Mike, WRND 393, Atlanta 752. New user, also coming from Zello, but I am in Land O'Lakes, Florida, checking in and out.
All right, Mike. Well, we've got you in here, Atlanta 753, checking in from Land O'Lakes, Florida. I'm assuming that means you're on vacation, and I hope that it's a great one. And we look forward to hearing more from you once you get back to Georgia, and I'll catch up with things. So welcome, Mike. Glad to hear you on the air. All right, I think we're going to go ahead and move on and open this up to any repeater anywhere that would like to check into North Georgia GMRS Network. Please call net control now.
This is WRMG 494, Atlanta 292, Derek and Rockmart, and welcome back, Justin.
This is ATL 587, WRMY 931, checking in.
This is Atlanta 538 and Atlanta 539, WRJC 263, Rob and Carol from Dawsonville checking in and out. Have a good night, everybody.
Control, Atlanta 285.
All right, 285. Give me 1 second here while I confirm some of this information here. So I have, let me go ahead and acknowledge what I've got. I've got Atlanta 587 Lee in Dallas checking in tonight. Thank you, Lee, for that check-in. I haven't heard you before. I'm looking forward to speaking with you. We have Atlanta 538 and 539. It looks like that is Rob and Carol. I'm confused because I thought that was, I see coming in the membership list, but I'm not sure that that's correct. But I've got Lee in Dallas, and I've got Rob and Carol and coming in and out. Thank you, Rob and Carol, both for checking in with us this evening. It's great to hear you on the air, and looking forward to catching up with you sometime very soon. Thank you, Flip. I appreciate you helping out there. Let's go next to Atlanta 285 for your comment.
Roger, net control, if you can copy. I think Atlanta 101 would be Whiskey India Lima in Blairsville. Over.
I appreciate that, CV. I also got that confirmation from Atlanta 123. Says that he saw him in the Zello history, so I haven't had a chance to respond to that, but let me just do that right now, and thank you both for clarifying that. I had a tough time hearing that for some reason. The audio was very low, and I don't know. That's my excuse. I guess that's all it is an excuse, and you know what excuses do for you. So we'll just move on from there. Thank you again, CV, for that. Still taking check-ins from any repeater anywhere. Net control standing by.
This is Atlanta 948, WRAR 430, Gary Woodstock, getting in and out, This is WRJN 906, Atlanta 550, Steve, Talking Rock, checking in and out tonight. This is WRMG 494, Atlanta 292, Derek and Rockport.
This is Atlanta 750 WRMR 367, Jeff in Waleska. Checking in.
All right, let me go ahead and acknowledge Atlanta 292, Derek and Rockmart. Derek, I think I I don't know, must have skipped over you. I'm not sure, but you were in the log up there ahead of Lee and Rob and Carol. So we got you in there earlier, Derek, but thanks for reminding me, and here's your acknowledgement. So you're definitely in there. Next, I have Atlanta 948 Gary in Woodstock checking in and out. Thanks for holding down the fort while we were gone, Gary. Appreciate all that you do, and thanks for checking in tonight. Next, I have Atlanta 550 Steve in Talking Rock. Got you in a log as in and out, Steve. Man, I got to tell you, your radio sounds fantastic. That is a great rig that you've got up there in Talking Rock. Next, I have Atlanta 750 Jeff in Waleska that has been busy working on his station and making improvements and getting things in order over there in Waleska. So congratulations on the improvements that you've made with that station, Jeff. Do we have any additional check-ins, any repeater anywhere? And we'll take one more round at this and we'll get started.
WRKT 728, this is Lisa, Atlanta 722, checking in and out, and WRKT 728, Seth, Atlanta 723, checking in and out.
This is Atlanta 57 WQZC 882, Andrew in Holly Springs.
All right, sorry about that. Just trying to get things caught up and cleaned up. And let's see. So we've got Atlanta 722 Lisa. Lisa is where is Lisa? Lisa is in Rockmart. Thank you, Lisa, for checking in and out tonight. It's great to hear you on the air. Your radio sounds terrific. And we have Atlanta 723 Seth. For some reason, I heard 728. And it wasn't until I looked it up that I got that correct. So, Seth, it's great to hear you on the air. Seth, can you tell me how old you are?
I am 19 over here.
Fantastic. Well, it's great to hear our younger audience on the air. And thank you for checking in with us this evening, Seth. And hope to hear you on the air more frequently. 19 years old, I'll bet you're pretty busy, especially in the evenings. But really appreciate you taking the time to hang out with us here tonight. And look forward to hearing you on the air more. Next on my check-ins is Atlanta 57 Andrew in Holly Springs. Got you in a log, Andrew. Looking forward to talking with you here in just a little bit. So with that, anyone who hasn't checked in by now, we'll have an opportunity for additional check-ins as we get later into the program. But in order to move this thing along, let's go ahead and get started. And as we go to the top, a couple of things that I want to talk about. And first and foremost is thanks. I want to say thanks. I want to say thanks to all of you who have bridged the gap and made the North Georgia GMRS net a fantastic net to monitor and listen to in my absence with our guest net controller Flip. And Flip did a fantastic job of moderating the net. And man, you guys are making it happen. So this isn't just what we do here. This is also your involvement and participation that makes this community what it is. And not just participating in the net, but also the help that I see one another, both on the air with radio checks and suggestions and tips and improvements, and on the Facebook page with ideas and things that I purchased and this made it work for me. You might give that a try. That's all great stuff, and I really, really love that we have this community of people that are engaged in looking out for one another and helping each other come up with the best station that we can possibly have. Let me break. So again, thanks to Flip Atlanta 26 for covering the net in my absence these last couple of weeks, and thanks to all of you who have made this community the great community that it is. Proud to be a part of it. So one of the things on our adventure in Indiana that I was able to kind of reconnect with. Of course, we've always done this here, but it's different when you're back with the rest of the family in Indiana, and that's some of the family games, you know, and the family has always been, you know, ready pretty much at the drop of the hat to, hey, do you want to play a game? And it could be something as simple as breaking out some dice to play quicks, or a deck of cards to play any of a number of card games. Sometimes we go out into the yard and play bocce ball. And you know, if you don't have a real bocce ball court, it can become really interesting because the typical lawn has so many uneven, you know, patches of dense grass and thin grass and little holes here and little mounds there that you don't really see. So when you roll a ball across an uneven surface like that, there's no telling which way it'll go. So that makes bocce ball quite the adventure in a backyard. I don't know if anybody is familiar with that game or not. That might just be a you know, something our family knows. I don't know. I don't see it played much around here, but we can talk about what that is here in a little bit. And of course, cornhole is another one that our family we love to break out the cornhole boards. And of course, we have a set of cornhole boards that were custom made and given to us as a tiki bar gift with a hand painted image of Julie in a hula skirt, and me with shorts, and I guess it's a little rubber duck floaty. I'm not entirely sure what that's supposed to be, but it's cute and it's fun, and cornhole is a fun family game. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk about tonight. Let me break here real quick. I wanted to talk about what does your family do to gather and to bond and to you know, just to spend time doing enjoyable things together. And maybe it's cooking out, maybe it's going to the movies, maybe it's shopping, maybe it's, I don't know. For us, it's family games. So just curious what everybody else enjoys doing together as a family. So with that, I'm going to go right to the top and see if Atlanta 442, Craig in Ackworth, is available yet. He's probably in the middle of dinner. But let's see if he's at a place where he can talk with us about family activities. Craig?
Hey, Justin. Yeah, I'm here. Hats off to you as always. Man, you always do a great job on the net. I remember when I was a previous member, before I had a lapse, you were real active. And, yeah, I appreciate it. I always enjoy talking with you on the radio, catching up. And hats off to Flip, too. He always does an awesome job. Really enjoy chatting with him, too. Hey, real quick, before I get on that topic, heard somebody check in, I didn't catch it, was saying something about a pool tournament. I found out, I didn't realize this, but I used to follow professional billiards in the 90s, and a guy named Johnny Archer was always one of my favorites. And I guess he's in this area. I think he may have even had a pool hall somewhere here in town, maybe in Marietta, but I think he's opening a new place in Cartersville, from what I heard. That's something I haven't done in years. Did a lot of that in my younger days in the Air Force. Let me break. Anyhow, yeah, stuff that gets the family together, man, these days, my daughter's 16 and driving now, so, you know, she doesn't want to have anything to do with it. She's not here real often.
I bet.
She's had a great summer, though, a lot of friends and a lot of activities. She goes to the gym a lot, so she's taking care of herself, which is good. But when we do get together, we like to barbecue, of course. She loves my cooking, has a lot of favorites, and she's always game for a good movie night. When we used to play games, she always liked that Phase 10 card game. I don't know if you've ever played that or not. It's fun if you got like 2 or 3 people, but the more people you get, it just drags on and on. But yeah, those are the kind of things we like to do. I'm lucky too that my wife and my daughter both like to go shooting with me, which is always a good time. So yeah, that's kind of what we do. With that having been said, I'll turn it back to net control.
Well, fantastic. Well, tell me, Craig, what are some of her most requested meals that you cook on a barbecue?
I'd say her favorite, as far as barbecue goes, is probably ribs. I've kind of gotten that down to a science. I like to do the kind of the same Johnny trick method. A lot of people call the 3-2-1 method. She really likes that. But she also is a big fan. I cooked some Korean meals that I learned how to do when I was stationed in Korea. And she's like me. She's kind of a pepperhead. She likes it spicy. So that's kind of one of her favorites. In fact, if she finds out that I'm going to be cooking it in any particular night, she plans on being home versus being out with her friends, at least for dinner anyway.
Oh, that's fantastic. What a cool tool to have, to be able to at least spend an evening a week or thereabouts with her. So, yes, and Phase 10 is a fun card game. That's one that we have in our stable of games. And one of the things that we have learned with Phase 10 is that it's also fun to play the even phases or the odd phases. And so that makes the game go a little quicker if you just play, half of it this time and then the other half the next time. And so that's something to keep in mind. All right, Craig. Well, thank you for all of that. I'm going to move on next to Noonan 80 Michael in Noonan. Michael checked in and out with us this evening, but I'm going to say thanks, Mike, for checking in, and hope that you're having a great evening, and look forward to catching up with you again soon. Next, I have Atlanta 83, Pete in Dahlonega. Pete is also in and out tonight. Something kind of came up for him. So I'm not sure if he's still monitoring. I think he was going to try to get back to us if he was able to. So thanks, Pete, for checking in, and look forward to catching up with you soon. Next, I have Atlanta 780, Houston in Holly Springs. Houston, what family activities does your family engage in?
Good evening, Justin. Good evening to the rest of the net. Well, as you know, I was a bowler there for a while, but I had to have some new knees, so that kind of got put off. So I guess just sitting around watching TV nowadays is about the best we can do. And I'll get you to change that while I'm thinking about it. It's Powder Springs instead of Holly Springs. You put me over there around Andrew now.
Oh, yeah. All right, we fixed the log. So, yeah, I knew it wasn't Austell, and I'm thinking it's some kind of springs somewhere. So, Powder Springs. Got you corrected there in the log. So, bowling and TV. Well, that's not the way it's always been. What you've when you had kids in the house, do you have any games you like to play back in those days?
Oh, yeah, there was a lot of times we'd get the Monopoly boards out or get outside and play the cornhole, and I guess that's something that everybody likes to do. We used to play a lot of horseshoes when my parents were alive up in Dahlonega, but I don't guess I've done that in 30 years now. But yeah, we've had quite a few games, and I don't know what to tell you is the best. I think I like the horseshoes best.
Well, I can tell you that Atlanta 948 really enjoys throwing some shoes. And he has a horseshoe course set up on the back of his property. It's a little overgrown these days. We just don't get over there to throw shoes very much anymore, but he enjoys that immensely. Cornhole has always been a big family game, for us as well. But you mentioned Monopoly, and that brings to mind a board game that we often play, which is Risk. And it's kind of funny because Risk has turned into one of those games that the strategy has turned into, let's try to beat Mom, because she always wins when we play Risk. So that's whenever we break that game out now, that's pretty much what everybody's mission is, regardless of what mission card you draw. So good stuff, Houston. Appreciate those comments and hope that you're doing well over there in Powder Springs since we've moved you from Holly Springs. And look forward to catching up with you again sometime soon. So everybody say hi to Miss Julie back there taking the hounds for a hike. Next on my list, I have Atlanta 403, Bobby in White County. I'm sure he is enjoying the background views of stuff going on with dog leashes, etc. Thanks, Bobby, for monitoring the electronic communications on the digital side of the world, and appreciate that. We also have Atlanta 172, Greg in Bremen. Greg was in and out, but he said he might be in, so let's ask and see if Atlanta 172 has any family gatherings or family activities he'd like to talk about. But there we go. That should bring it back up. And I think those tones that I heard were, yep, that's my notification that we had an issue. So, all right. Well, thank you, Flip. I'm going to go ahead and move on. Next, I have Atlanta 285 CV in Murrayville. CV, do you have any family activities you'd like to talk about, or any other comments for the net? Atlanta 285, CV Smith. Were you in and out tonight?
Net Control, Atlanta 285. Do you copy this Zello unit? Over.
Yeah, we've got you on Zello this time. Was that you were just having trouble getting back to me?
Net Control, Atlanta 285. Do you copy?
CV Smith, yes, you are coming in just fine on Zello. We've got a good, clean, crisp signal on you.
Rogers, and I'm not going to move because I think it's going to change. We're on the Redneck Riviera, Panama City Beach, Florida. 8 adults, 7 grandkids on a beach house, right on the beach. Be back this weekend, and that'll be the end of our traveling for the year, I believe. You do a great job, Justin. Flip did a great job filling in for you. Hope you can copy this. I'm not going to keep you. Atlanta 285 WRKN 234, be clear.
Eight adults and 7 kids at a beach house in Panama City Beach, Florida. That sounds like the classic family activity. Wasn't there a movie? I'm trying to think of what that was. Chevy Chase and A Vacation and what was that? What was that car called? There's all kinds of crazy ideas that come to mind with 8 adults and 7 kids. But yeah, I think that's a great way to gather and have a good time together as a family, and that sounds like a lot of fun. We have done the the Airbnb and the beach house thing a time or two, and it has always been great. I wish we did it more because I really enjoy those kind of vacations. So congratulations, CV. Hope you are enjoying the trip and are hearing us well. And you are coming in here perfectly. So Zello is working very well for you tonight. Next on my list is Atlanta 402. Todd incoming. Todd is in and out tonight. Thank you, Todd, for checking in. It's great to hear from you. We also have Atlanta 286 Lynn in Murrayville. And I have 287 Trey in Murrayville. Lynn and Trey, do you have any comments for the net? Do you have any family activities you'd like to talk about, or any other comments in general?
Net control will have 285, 286 and 287 are unavailable. They've gone to Pineapple Willie's. Over.
Well, fantastic. Great to hear it. CV, thanks for letting us know. We're going to go ahead and show them in a log as in and out, so there's no need for them to try to check out later. And I'm going to show you that way as well, CV, so you don't have to bother with it after a while. And we'll just close that out. But thanks for those comments, and I hope you guys are having a fantastic time down there in Panama City Beach. Next on my list is Atlanta 721 David in southwest Paulding County. I bet you're at a job site. David, what do you guys do for family activities?
Hey, Justin. I actually live in southwest Paulding County. I am not working tonight. We've moved from Buckhead to Kennesaw. But we enjoy gardening and, I guess game-wise, cornhole's a fun one. But we just enjoy, homemaking, the gardening, and canning and dehydrating and stuff like that. I mean, that's kind of our hobby. But fun-wise, we just hang out, listen to music, and just try to be young.
Well, the hangout and listening to music is a big part of my recreational time these days, but that's not so much a family activity because nobody else in the family is as big into music as I am. Julie is a take it or leave it. She doesn't mind listening to some music, but she doesn't like to listen to it loud, and she doesn't like to listen to it for hours on end like I do. So we have to. I have to get my music time in. I do that often through the workday, and during my one-on-one time, and then when we have time that we're spending together, I try to incorporate other things that she'll enjoy more. So, yeah, that is a favorite of mine. And I tell you, I don't know that much about gardening or canning. Julie is the green thumb around here, but she's more of a flower and make the place look pretty gardener than a vegetable gardener. So, and the place looks fantastic. The plants that she has out there on the deck just create a really nice atmosphere. It is my place of zen to go out there and hang out at the tiki bar and enjoy that atmosphere, particularly with what she's done with some of the plants and planters around that area. Don't know anything about canning. I know how to open them. I don't know how to put stuff in them. So that's a great skill, and that's something that is a valuable skill to have because like right now we're in a weird time with just the supply chain in general. Shortages here and there. Surpluses of materials, but no trucks available to move them. It's a weird time right now. So, what a cool thing to be self-sufficient in that way, that you don't have to rely on the conventional the conventional supply chain that the rest of us are we're just tied to so much. So that's good stuff, David. Keep that up, and way to look out for the family. Next on my list is Atlanta 586, Paul, checking in on the flagship repeater. Paul, do you have any family activities or any other comments for the net tonight?
Yes, sir, I do. Me and my family enjoy a lot of things, as most family do, just spending time together and enjoying each other's company. We like to hang out with my mom and dad and our family. We're actually going on vacation very soon, and we're going to enjoy that in Orange Beach, Alabama, and I'm going to try and reach you guys from out there. Other than that, I mean, we do kind of basic things like everybody else does. I'm friends with David, ATL721. He's a good friend of mine. I've known him for probably almost 10 years now, and he's actually the one that got me into the GMRS radio stuff because I was a ham guy at first. But there's a lot more chatter on GMRS. We enjoy, hot dogs in the backyard, grilling out, talking about stuff like like-minded people do. Me and my wife actually own a firearms company here in Dallas, Georgia, which is where we're located. So we just try and make it every single day. We don't make waves. We just try and enjoy every moment together. Me and my wife and my daughter. And daughter's about to turn 15 and start driving again. And obviously she wants a car. And man, that whole thing. But other than that, I mean, we're really privileged to be a part of North Georgia GMRS, and we love it. We love you guys. I hear you guys all the time. We always monitor you guys, and we're looking forward to more featured conversations with you guys. Over.
Well, fantastic, Paul, and great to hear. Time together with the family is always great, and the opportunity to spend time with the extended family and go on a vacation with, the parents, the in-laws, or what have you. In our family, between Julie and I've got great in-laws. Julie's in-laws are, she's just going to have to live with it because that's just the way it is. But my in-laws are fantastic. They're always fun to spend time with, and it's always fun to gather with the extended family. And on this trip that we just took, the trip started off as a vacation, a legit vacation. We spent time with Julie's brother up in, first we stopped at my daughter's place in Fishers, Indiana, just for an overnight. And then we went up to visit with her brother up in Paw Paw, Michigan, and spent the weekend with Julie's brother and sister-in-law, and had a fantastic time up there. Great 4th of July dinner and gathering with friends and neighbors and family, and just a fantastic time at their lake house up there. And then we went back down to Fort Wayne to spend some more time with other elements of the family at Julie's parents' place, where we stayed for the week. And then once that was done, it was all work for me. Spent most of my time up there after the 4th of July holiday at my parents' farm, and it's just been sold. And so the task was cleaning things up, getting rid of stuff, old busted up gates to go into the scrap metal pile, and stuff that needed to be hauled out to the back of the property and burned, stuff that needed to be cleaned up and set aside for a garage sale, tractor that needed to be sold, a big zero-turn grasshopper lawnmower that needed to be sold, lots and lots and lots of tools, a big old 7.5 horsepower 80-gallon air compressor that had to be sold, had to disconnect that from the building. It's not one that plugs into the wall, it's hardwired. So that had to be removed and ready for sale. Just a ton of work to do up there, and the cleanup and the carrying stuff from one building to another, setting stuff up for a garage sale, just exhausting stuff. But the first part of that trip with Julie's family was a lot of fun. So if we could have just cut it off right there, that would have been good. But good stuff, Paul, and glad to hear that you've enjoyed participating in this network. I enjoy it very much too. It's a great crew of people, and just high quality stuff. I just really enjoy this community of people that have come together here. So glad to have you as part of it. Next on my list, I have McDonough 22, Tim in Stockbridge. Tim, what kind of family activities do you like to engage in, and do you have any other comments for the net?
We had a breaker from Zello in there trying to get into net control. Justin, I'll stand by for a minute and let him go ahead.
All right, Zello user, go ahead and make your attempt to get in here. We'll make a nice big hole for you.
Break net control.
CV, yes, go ahead.
Net control, Atlanta 285, just wanted to say, if you need another vacation like you just had, I'll give you an address to come to. Over.
Yeah, I wonder if that address is up there where that flagship site is at, because what I dealt with was very much like that. It was, as that flagship site was, before we did the cleanup there, that's a lot like what some of those barns were. 60-some years on that property and stuff that accumulates over that time. I found 4 water hydrants. None of them are any good, but they're still on the property. And you know, it just why weren't those things hauled to the dump years ago? Lots of scrap metal, most of it not worth you know, salvaging. It just rusted up and just you know, could have been good stuff had it been stored properly, but storing that stuff in a barn just lets it go to ruin. And so much of the equipment, there's an air compressor there with a must have a I don't know, 12, 15, 18 gallon tank. It's probably a 4-horse or a 5-horse, you know, one of those. It's a Sears Craftsman air compressor. The thing's probably 20 years old. It still works, but I guarantee you that thing has never been serviced in any way. And there was so much filth caked on that thing. It was just, that was what was impressive, is that this machine has been neglected for all these years and still operates. Not very well, and it's really noisy. It takes a long time for it to fill up air, but it does it. So challenging stuff. But yeah, CV, I'll meet you up there at the top of the hill, and we'll do some more cleanup, and we'll get that place ready to shine. I think we're not too far from it. So good stuff. All right, Tim in Stockbridge. Let's go ahead and check in with you and see what you've got to say.
Very good job. Thank you, Justin. Atlanta 285 WRKN 234. I'm out of here.
All right. Good stuff, CV.
Oh, okay, well, got that done. Good evening, Justin, and the rest of the net. I'm kind of looking behind me to the summer family activities, because my sister came down back in April with her new husband, and I got to spend a week with them doing various activities, visiting other family members and old friends, and hanging out and stuff like that. So it's kind of hard to find family activities when your family lives 2,500 miles away. So my sister and her crew and her family and her new husband all live out in Montana, and my son and his wife and family, grandkids all live out in Washington State. So don't really have any family left down here except for some cousins I haven't seen in probably 20 years at the last Thanksgiving meeting, and Lord knows where they are these days. And so my summer be just doing normal activities, hanging around the house, watching movies on TV, Netflix, maybe doing some little building building projects around the house, building shelves and fixing, repairing things that have been neglected for a while. And auto maintenance and just working a little bit here and there and doing normal stuff. So that's pretty much it for my planned summer activities. I'll turn it back to net control.
Well, that is a challenge, Tim. When your family is 2,500 miles away, it does make for visits to be few and far between. I have an aunt and cousin, aunt, uncle, and cousin, and his new bride. Well, she's not a new bride, but they're younger than me, so I guess they're all new. From California, and I'm looking forward to a visit from my aunt and uncle next month, and in about a month, and so that I think is going to be a lot of fun to spend some time with them. And again, these are people that they're a lot of fun to spend time with, but we don't see them but once every couple of years. So I get it. That does make for a challenging time. Fortunately, we have other family closer, and we have so many adopted family members in Georgia now that I don't know that we could ever leave because, like I say, we've got people here that are like family to us, and it would be just as difficult to not see them as it would be to not see other elements of our family. So I guess the only answer to that is frequent visits, and that's been tough the last year and a half, but I think that we're going to come around the corner and we're going to find a way to make visits happen regardless. So with that in mind, let's see, what did I miss here? Your family's far away, your sister and husband recently visited, you enjoy hanging out. Did I miss anything, Tim?
Oh, Justin, I think you covered it pretty much, and yeah, you're right. It's just it's tough, and of course, when you're in your 7th decade on this planet, you've lost a lot of family and friends and loved ones, So you're looking more behind you than forward. But I'm still looking forward to some good times in the future. It'll just be different. You know what I mean? You just have to find new things to enjoy and do activities somehow. And press on forward there, Roger.
New activities. That is the thing. I guess that's kind of that's how I ended up here. GMRS became a new activity, and before I knew it, now look, 4 years later, but it's all worth it. Very good stuff. All right, Tim. Well, thanks for that, and great comments. Thanks for chiming in. Next on my list, I have Chattanooga 5'8", Bill, on the Lookout Mountain machine. Bill, do you have any family activities that you have enjoyed or do enjoy? And do you have any other comments for the net?
Good evening, Justin. This is WREC 529, Chattanooga 5'8". I live alone here in this senior apartment at Summit View near Red Bank in Chattanooga. But I've got a son-in-law and daughter up in Maryland. We talk to each other at least twice a day. In fact, at about 8:30 tonight, they should be calling me again. And I've got some of my wife's relatives that live pretty close to where I'm at here. So, I consider myself pretty lucky. And I was going to mention the fact that I'm looking forward to Elon Musk lighting that candle in Boca Chica, Texas. That should be something else. WREC 529, Chattanooga 5'8", back to net control.
Indeed. Yeah. When that candle gets lit, and we don't have a date for that yet, so it's just wait and see. But what Bill is referring to is the Starship booster with the Starship on top of it, the test flight that is coming. And there's just no way of knowing today what to expect from that. It could be a gigantic boom. It could be a huge, huge success. And it could be anything and everything in between. No matter what happens, it's knowledge and information. And so one thing that SpaceX has been very good at is documenting all that they do so that they can research the results and figure out what worked and what didn't work and be able to make appropriate changes along the way. So I'm looking forward to this launch, and I'll be excited to see whatever the outcome is. I'll be excited to see it happen, and then I'll be interested in seeing what growth and development and technological advances occur from there. But you talk about a senior apartment, and that's exactly what my mom up in Indiana is moving into. There's a place. It's kind of funny that there's this 7-mile triangle. The apartment that she's moving into is 7 miles from the farm, and she still has a horse, and she's got another farm that's boarding the horse that's 7 miles from the house from her farm. And the apartment and the place where the horse is being boarded at is also 7 miles away. So it's a weird little 7-mile triangle, but it's a kind of a convenient thing that she's no farther away from her horse when she moves into the apartment than she is while she's still at the farm today. So that'll be good. And she's at a place at an age now where taking care of the horse is really a lot for her to do. So it's good that somebody else is doing that. She still has access to the animal. She has an arrangement for someone to haul the horse to a horseman's campground that she is a member of, and she's able to. So she still rides. She was just riding. The week that we arrived over the 4th of July, she was at the campsite riding. So she plans to continue doing that. And but this senior apartment building is kind of neat. It's an old elementary school, and they have stripped everything out and built apartments out of the classrooms, and it is a beautiful facility. The building was built in '73, but I'll tell you, it looks like it was just recently built. Let me break and let the repeater reset. So the building was built in '73, but it looks like it's got all new mortar in the brickwork. I mean, the building looks like it's new. It smells new on the inside. The apartments are very nice. She's excited about this, which is a big deal because I getting her off the farm was quite the challenge, and she's just too old and frail to be out there trying to live farm life at her advanced age. So. But this senior apartment that she's in is going to be very, very cool. I'm looking forward to seeing her thrive in that environment. And great to hear that you're hearing from your family twice a day. Those phone calls, I'm sure, are treasured, and that's cool stuff. It's a shame that they're so far away in Maryland, but at least you're still in contact with them regularly. And I know that with my wife's family, if something happened, I know that they would still be a part of the picture because they're just very open people and very connected. So hopefully you have that with your wife's family as well. So good stuff, Bill. It's great talking with you, and look forward to our weekday chats coming up. Maybe I'll hear from you tomorrow, and we can chat about some of the things that have happened. I'm a little bit out of the loop because of this trip. I've just not been able to really follow things. So maybe you can bring me up to speed. Thank you for that, Bill. Let's move on now to Noonan 90. Mark in Noonan is in and out with us this evening. Thank you, Mark, for checking in. It's great to have you along. We have Atlanta 138, Robert in Auburn, who may or may not be finished with. He's probably still working band practice, so I think he'll be a little bit yet before he's able to chime in. But he's in and out. So thanks, Robert, for that check-in. I have Atlanta 252, Shad in Emerson, in and out with us this evening. Thank you, Shad. And I have Atlanta 312 Stacy, also in Emerson. Stacy's going to check in with us tonight, and I'm going to ask Stacy if she has any family activities she'd like to talk about. And when we're done with that, I'm going to chat with Stacy a little bit about some of these merchandise orders. Stacy, do you have any comments for the net?
Comment for net control. Late check-in on Zello. This is 253 WQNZ 274.
Hey, Justin, this is Stacy. We pretty much used to get together and do the retro stuff. Normally end up watching a funny movie which turns into movie quotes and who can talk it up the most. And then towards the end of the night, we had playing a gin rummy, which my older son always wins.
Yes, movie quotes. There's only a handful of movies that I could quote anything from. Several of my favorite movies fall along the line of things like The Blues Brothers and, The Cannonball Run and Convoy, those kind of movies. So I like those older movies. I like just about everything that Clint Eastwood has ever done. A Right Turn, Clyde. Those are the kind of movie quotes that I can do. Song quotes are a little different story. I can quote a lot of music, but not today's music. We played a game recently with that was music oriented, and anything that was classic rock or old country, I could pretty well figure out, but none of the new stuff. I just didn't have a clue on really anything that was written after probably about the 90s. So anything that's 30 years old or newer, I don't know anything about. But movie quotes, that could be a fun way to spend an evening, is just sitting around and playing that. So you always win. And that's the way it is around here a lot of times with Julie. She wins a lot of the games that we play, but the kids win their share too. I rarely win, and that's okay because I'm not there to win. I'm there to spend time with the family. But Stacy, tell me, have you had very many orders, and how is that progressing? Is the payment process working for you, and the shipping costs and things like that? Are there any issues that you need to address?
The orders are wonderful, and we have wonderful members that have cooked and let me take my time to do this because I'm the only one that's doing it, and I don't have a machine that cuts it, and I just put it on the shirt. Each one of them is individually cut and hand done. And I appreciate everybody's patience between trying to be sick and getting everything done. Most of the orders will be gone and out by tomorrow, no later than Monday. Waiting on a few invoices to come in. It's just been wonderful.
Well, fantastic. I've seen a few comments from people that have put up pictures of some of the stuff that they've received, and sounds like folks are happy with that overall, which is fantastic. I got to tell you, the whole merchandise thing is something that we've kind of explored from time to time, and that's the issue is the time to process the order, the time to get the material in, the time to and it's more than I can really deal with here. That's why we wanted to kind of step out of the picture and let you interact directly with the membership, because it's not worth it. There's not enough money in it to make it worth it for us to use it as a fundraiser. So by the time we put a couple of dollars into every order so that it makes money for North Georgia GMRS, well, then it's expensive enough that maybe it's not competitive with other sources. So, I didn't want to do that. And I'm glad to know that the membership are getting materials that that work with what our expectations are, and that they're pleased with the product, and that it's also benefiting you. So that's great stuff, and glad to hear that that's working well. Let me break. Sorry about that. My throat's got a tickle.
I didn't know everything had went up because I just don't ship that much, but I'm okay with it. Might have to go up in the future because I overheard the postal stamps going up in August again.
Well, and that's okay, and you do have the freedom to make that work for you and your customers there. So we're glad to make the membership available and make these products available to the membership. But we talked at length about how we wanted to handle this, and I'm comfortable with this arrangement, and I hope that you are too. And I think this is the best way to keep costs down for the membership, because this is not an area that we really can make money at, because it'll take more time than I can give it, and so it's best just to put it in the hands of someone like you. So good stuff. And while we're on the air, I want to go ahead and acknowledge Atlanta 253 Donald in Blairsville. I've got your Zello check-in, Donald, and you're definitely on the list, so we'll be coming to you so that you can tell us about your family activities and how you beat us at Uno. So looking forward to having that conversation with you here in just a little bit, Donald. Thank you, Stacy, for your comments, and thanks again for your participation in the merchandise program. We appreciate you providing that service for the membership. Next on my list is Atlanta 434 Ron incoming, in and out. Is Ron? Is he the one? Is he the billiard player? I think Ron might be our billiard player. But while we're on the subject, who was talking about billiards? I missed that. I didn't make a note of it. Somewhere along the way, we had a conversation about playing pool and billiards, and I just wanted to throw out there that I know that Atlanta 123 is also a fan of the game, and if there were a location worth exploring, it might be something fun to do as a North Georgia GMRS. Maybe a billiards team in a tournament. I don't know. Something to explore. That could be cool. We could provide you with some North Georgia GMRS merchandise from Stacy, and put you out there as a North Georgia GMRS pool tournament team. I don't know if that works or not, but fun to think about. So Atlanta 434 Ron incoming is in and out with us tonight. That brings me next to Atlanta 101 Will in Blairsville. Was a Zello check-in. I had a tough time hearing Will, but Will, if you want to try to come in here with your comments, maybe you can speak up into that device a little bit louder, because that was one of the issues I had, was low modulation. And low modulation through Zello often results in breakups and things like that. So if you can speak up nice and loud into that device and tell us about any family activities or any other comments you have for the net. Atlanta 101 Will. Atlanta 101 Will. Going once. Zello can be tricky, but I think we're going to go ahead and move on. All right. Well, I hate this because I know that sometimes it can be tough to get the push-to-talk to work on Zello, and you get timeouts, and it says too many transmissions with no audio, and then it puts you in timeout for, I don't know, 2 minutes or something like that, and you can't talk at all. I've been frustrated by that in my experience with Zello, so I hope that's not what's going on. But in any case, we're going to show Will as in and out for the time being, and we will then move on to Atlanta 912 Alfonso, not in Alpharetta, but actually in Marietta. Alfonso, do you have any family activities that you'd like to talk about, or any other comments for the net?
How you guys doing? How's the net doing? The only activity me and my wife's been doing for the summer is just working out together. That's about it. She do her own thing, and I do my own thing.
So exercise routine and going to the gym and working out and that sort of thing. That's it's good to share an activity of that nature and just fun to. I know that things that we get engaged in around here with Julie. It's always a lot more fun to do projects and tasks and even chores together. Like when there's a bunch of housework that needs to be done. Like right now, the house hasn't been cleaned in a couple of weeks because we've been gone. But there's still been some activity here in the house, and it needs to be vacuumed. It needs to be dusted. It needs to be dusted well. It just needs some stuff. So our plan is Saturday morning we're going to tackle it together and get it knocked out, and then that way we can enjoy the rest of the day and the rest of the weekend together, rather than me putting it all off on her or her putting it all off on me. If she did that, it probably wouldn't get done. But we can work on it together and make it an easy task and then be able to enjoy the rest of our day. So that's good stuff, Alfonso. When's the next episode of Two Alphas Talk coming out?
I was debating on doing one tomorrow, but I'm going to put it off to next week to see if I can generate more traffic to it.
Yeah, all right. Well, let's see if we can generate some traffic and talk about Alfonso's YouTube channel called Two Alphas Talk. And it's a very interesting channel with some very interesting topics, and I would invite the membership to go to YouTube and check that out. It's definitely worth the time to go there. So, next episode coming out, I guess sometime next week. What do you do, Alfonso? Is that a weekly thing, or is that twice a month, or how often do you typically publish an episode?
Oh, we started out publishing for a year and a half, weekly episode. We got over 80 episodes published out there, and it's still going strong. The video equipment is adding. We dabbled into some podcasts, and it's just still going. And we have a litany of subjects, and nothing's rehearsed. Everything is just a conversation between us two. So it's a very interesting dynamic. Me and the other Al are almost like brothers, from different mothers.
Yeah, and I get a sense of that too, and it is. I also get a sense that this is not stuff that's been written out, but this is speaking from the heart on various matters and subjects, and so it's very real, very authentic, and very enjoyable. So good stuff, and hopefully we can draw a little more attention to that and get a few more viewers on your channel for that. So. Thank you, Alfonso, for your comments. I'm going to go ahead and move on now to Atlanta 753. Mike checking in from Land O'Lakes, Florida. Mike is in and out with us this evening, but hope that he's enjoying his time in Florida, and look forward to catching up with Mike when he gets back. Next on my list is Atlanta 292, Derek in Rockmart. Derek, do you have any family activities you'd like to talk about? Atlanta 292, Derek, are you still with us? All right, we're going to go ahead and show Atlanta 292 Derek as in and out. Maybe he said that when he checked in and I missed that. Don't know for sure. But we'll mark him that way, and we'll go ahead and move on to Atlanta 587, Lee in Dallas. Lee, is this your first time with North Georgia GMRS on the air, or did you check in the last couple of weeks with Flip? All right. So, okay. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and show Lee as in and out, and I'm going to say thank you, Lee, for checking in with us this evening, and hope to hear from you again very soon. And let's go through this next little list of in and outs. We have Atlanta 538 Rob incoming, in and out with us tonight. Thank you, Rob, for checking in. We also have Atlanta 539 Carol incoming, in and out. Thank you, Carol. It's great to hear from both of you. We have Atlanta 948 Gary in Woodstock, in and out. Thank you, Gary, for your check-in tonight. And we have Atlanta 550 Steve in Talking Rock, also in and out tonight. We have Atlanta 750 Jeff in Waleska. Jeff is going to hang out with us tonight. So, Jeff, do you have any comments for the net and any family activities you'd like to participate in?
Good evening, Justin. The family activities that we've been doing recently, I still have a lot of family in Florida. Actually, Atlanta 753 is my uncle. He lives in Florida. He got involved here with North GMRS so we could communicate. And my dad, Atlanta 752, his house is being built as we speak in Dawsonville, so that's another adventure. So until family gets here to Georgia, it's me and my wife and friends, and we get together on Saturday nights, and we do karaoke in our friend Tim's basement. So just a little something different that most people don't do, but we enjoy it on a weekly basis.
Saturday night karaoke. That sounds like that could be quite the adventure in and of itself. So, do you each have a set list and take turns, or does one person go up and sing a round of songs? How do you moderate that?
Well, I pretty much run the machine and the laptop and pull up the songs and all that, and everybody else has their fun and does their singing, and it can get quite exciting at times because sometimes they decide to do what's called kamikaze karaoke, where you sing a song and then you pick the song for the next person, so you don't get to pick a song that you're good at. So it gets really interesting, and sometimes people will pick at each other and pick songs like boy band songs, and it gets kind of fun and comical.
Yes. Well, when it comes to things like boy band songs, I wouldn't even know. I wouldn't know how to fake that. So I don't know. All I could do is stand there and read the words, I suppose. But that could be very fun. One thing that Julie and I did here recently with our son Jordan up in Fayetteville, North Carolina, we went to a dueling piano bar. And, of course, that is something they live off of requests, and they can play almost anything. We had a lot of fun trying to come up with stuff they couldn't play. And we came up with a few that they couldn't play, but for the most part, we were a little bit surprised at what they could play that we thought they wouldn't be able to pull off. So that can be a lot of fun, and that's probably along those lines of, the kamikaze karaoke. You're just living for that. What is the next big surprise going to be, and how big of a challenge is it going to be? So that sounds like a great time and a great way to spend a Saturday night. We might have to start some karaoke over here at the Tiki Bar. I'll be sure to let you know if we do. So good stuff, Jeff. Thank you for your comments tonight, and we'll move on now to Atlanta 722 Lisa in Rockmart checking in and out. And Atlanta 723 Seth in Rockmart also checking in and out. Thanks for your comments tonight, Seth. Appreciate you coming back to me and when you did. Next on my list is Atlanta 57 Andrew in Holly Springs. And Donald, you're going to be coming up next, so stand by. Andrew in Holly Springs, do you have any family activities over there at Club 215 you want to talk about?
Good evening, Justin and everyone in the net. Yes, you actually mentioned one of them earlier, Bocce Ball. Yes, we do play Bocce Ball over here. I guess it's an Italian thing, and that's what my wife's all into because that's what her family heritage is. So, yes, we do some Bocce Ball over here. Also, the kids, the wife, and all that like to do some badminton when the net is standing, even though it gets destroyed by the kids running through the yard and all that. So But those are just some of the things we do. There are plenty others to name on that list. So, but I just want to bring up the bocce ball back up again because I know you had mentioned it at the beginning of the net.
Yes. And, for those of you that don't know, as Andrew implied, it is an Italian game. And the way that works is you toss an object ball. The ball has a name. I can't remember what it is. It's something Italian. It's a small white ball that you toss into the yard. And then the game balls, there's 4 of each color. So there'll be, 4 black and 4 white, or 4 red and 4 blue. It doesn't matter what colors they are, but there's 2 different colors of balls, and so one player will have one color, and will throw a ball to the object ball, and you want to get as close to it as you can. And then the next player will throw a ball, and if they get closer to the object ball, they continue to throw until they get knocked away, and then then whatever balls are remaining from the other player they throw, and they try to knock your balls away from the object ball, or knock the object ball away from your balls and towards theirs. And so it could be a lot of fun. I've never had the opportunity to play it on an actual bocce ball court. Anytime that we've played the game, it has been on a lawn, and typically lawns are unpredictable and uneven and frustrating at times, but nonetheless, it's a fun game to play, and but it's one I'd like to experience on a regulation court because I think it could be a lot more fun and challenging to play it that way. But good stuff. Andrew, do you have any other comments?
Not really. I mean, everyone's doing well. Just trying to get ready. We're going down to Savannah next week for vacation. Going to be staying on River Street. So looking forward to that. So just trying to get this week wrapped up, and then I'm trying to get a whole bunch of stuff taken care of at work, so I don't have a whole lot of things hanging over my head while I'm on vacation. But all in all, hey, we're doing good over here at Club 215.
Well, fantastic. And plan a little extra travel time for that detour because I-16 is closed. I'm sure that you're aware of that, but going to have a little detour around that incident where that bridge got damaged. Might have been, it was either yesterday or today. I'm not exactly sure what the timing was, but I get the impression it might have been like early this morning that it happened. But going to have to plan for some extra time to get around that incident. But as far as I know, Savannah's still open, and I think that would be a lot of fun. I love Savannah. That's a lot of fun to go to. Next on my list is Atlanta 253, Donald in Blairsville. Donald, I hope all is well with you. And I'd like to hear about any family activities or games that you enjoy playing.
Good evening, Justin, and good evening to the rest of the net. The games and family activities, I have a camp meeting that's been going on for 185 years, and I have my mother up here with me.
Well, 185 years is a lot of time to spend at a camp meeting, but I think what you mean is it's been an annual event for 185 years. And I know that that's something that you have participated in for, I guess, for as long as we've known you, and every year. So, but this year you've got your mother up there, and I know that you've been spending a lot of time with her lately, in going to various state parks and things, and staying in lodges and whatnot. So that's cool stuff. What other activities do you like to engage in? I know that you occasionally find yourself in hot water.
Yeah, I like to be outside when I can, do activities outside and stuff.
Yes. And I tell you, that's one thing that kind of changed for me. I was never much of an outdoor person. I'm fine sitting inside with the TV, with the video game, with the computer, with with work or what have you. I've never been one that really needed to be outside and doing stuff out there. But when we moved to Georgia, that all went out the window. And now I love the outdoors. I love working in the yard. I just love being out there in it. And they talk about Hotlanta and the heat down here, but I got to tell you, it's really no hotter here than it is in Indiana, and the humidity isn't all that different either. So this whole Hotlanta thing just doesn't resonate with me. But it does get warm, and you do get sweaty, and that can be unpleasant. But it sure beats the heck out of standing on a hay wagon in the middle of a field in the hot sun, throwing bales of hay. So that was my youth, and I never want to do that again. So pretty much no matter what I've experienced in terms of heat, it's never been as bad as that. So I can deal with it. But good stuff, Donald, and glad to hear that you're able to enjoy the outdoors as well as many of the other activities you mentioned. That's the end of my list. So at this time, Net Control is going to take a standby, and we're going to invite all members of this net for any additional questions or comments, and Net Control standing by for additional check-ins. So the floor is open.
WRFN 658, Atlanta 295. Good evening, Justin.
This is Tryon 60, WRMZ 225, Cherry in Somerville. This is Atlanta 420, WRFS 771, logging in from Roswell. And this is William. Be checking in and out, and was monitoring most of the. Enjoyed listening.
Net Control, this is Atlanta 442 with a comment.
All right, let me go ahead and acknowledge what we have here so far. And Craig, I'll come back to you for your comment here in just a moment. We have Atlanta 295, Scott in Dallas. Thank you, Scott, for checking in tonight. I trust date night went well. We have Tryon 20, Terry in Somerville. I'm glad to hear from you, Terry, and we'll come to you here in just a moment. We have Atlanta 420, William in Roswell, checking in and out. Understand you've been monitoring the net. Thank you for that, William. Glad to know that you're out there monitoring and hanging out with us. And let me go ahead and let's go to Craig and grab that comment from Atlanta 442.
Hey, Justin, it was me that mentioned the billiards. I did a little digging while I was listening to the net. That place Johnny Archer is opening, I think it's going to be called Johnny Archer's Place. It is going to be in Cartersville. It shows on South Tennessee Street, which is really 293, just like a couple blocks south of Main Street. They're on the left if you were headed, out of Cartersville towards Emerson. And it looks like they haven't done their grand opening yet, but it's probably going to be pretty soon. It's going to be looks like it's a billiard hall and restaurant and bar all in one. Back to Net Control.
Fantastic stuff. And yes, what a cool thing it would be to go and enjoy a meal and also enjoy cheering on the North Georgia GMRS pool tournament members. That I think would be a lot of fun. So I don't know. I think that's a project that you should head up and see if you can coordinate and gather some participants and put together a team for the league. There's bound to be a league there at some point. So, and yeah, definitely. I mean, just because it's a new place, I'd be interested in checking it out when they open. So, in Cartersville is a nice quick trip from here. So, and we love Cartersville. We love to drive up there. It's a cute little town. So, good stuff. Thank you for that, Craig. I appreciate those comments. Atlanta 295, Scott in Dallas. Can you tell me about some of your family activities that you like to engage in?
Yes, sir. So family activity number one, of course, is every Thursday night. We as a family get together with our friends and we go play trivia. When it's just the family on get-togethers, we have a myriad of board games and dominoes and cards that we play. So, yeah, definitely tabletop games would be the second when everybody's together. But trivia every Thursday is definitely our main thing, or trivia anytime, but definitely on Thursdays.
Excellent stuff. I know another family activity that you engage in is getting your kids involved in GMRS radio. I know that you have many of your kids equipped with mobiles, and I hear you and them radio checking and communicating from time to time. Used to hear it a lot more, but that's cool stuff that you've engaged the family in GMRS radio communications. So good stuff. And yeah, you know, another game that comes to mind that is a lot of fun, but you need a group. You need probably 5 or 6 or 7 people for this. It's a game that's called Across the Board. And if you Google it, you'll see just what it is that I'm talking about. It's horse racing. And holy cow, is that a lot of fun. It's and it's about as horse race as a horse race gets. So if you have the opportunity to play that, I definitely recommend it. And if you need the opportunity to play that, I suppose we can probably break it out at some point. But bring your pennies or quarters or nickels or whatever it is that you're going to bet with, because it is a betting game. But holy cow, is that a lot of fun. And Atlanta 123 and his wife were over to enjoy that game with us one evening, as well as 911 and 940 have also engaged in that particular game with us. So lots of fun. I love that game. But it takes a group. It's not that much fun if it's just a couple of people. You need a pretty good sized group for that to really take off and be fun. But Across the Board, check that one out. All right, next on my list is Tryon 20, Terry in Somerville. Terry, do you have any family activities you'd like to talk about?
Listen, everyone, welcome back. We do a lot of cornhole playing, like you were talking about earlier, horseshoes. One thing my wife and I do together, since her daughter is grown, and we have a granddaughter who is 8 now, so the board games are a little bit different at the moment. But my wife is a wood carver, and so we're always in the woods looking for unusual shapes and pieces of wood. So we kind of make that an adventure and have fun doing that.
Wood carving. You know, I've never had an eye for that. It's hard for me to look at a piece of wood and visualize what it could be. But I'll tell you, I've seen some carvings that are just amazing. So that is a skill that I definitely have a lot of respect for. And yeah, I could imagine the board games when you've got an 8-year-old to entertain are going to be a little bit different than you probably don't want to introduce the 8-year-old to horse racing. It could be fun, but you know there's gambling involved, so that needs to be more of an adult nature. And personally, for me, I'm not much of a gambler, so I prefer to play with pennies. But my kids are all the time saying we need to play this with quarters. You know, that's fine, but pennies are good enough for me. It's a, you know, you definitely don't come away with what you started with. It's always either more or less. So I don't mind losing a few pennies. It would be different if I were losing a few dollars worth of quarters or many dollars worth of quarters, because it very much is horse racing. So Across the Board is probably not for the 8-year-old. But good stuff, Terry. And yeah, if there's an opportunity, it might be cool to post some of those carvings on our Facebook page, so the membership can see some of what your wife does there. That would be neat to see. Love to see the crafts and skills and talents of our members outside of just what we do in radio. So good stuff. Next on my list is Atlanta 420 William. William holds the tail gunner slot tonight at number 39. Unless we get another check-in tonight, and if we do, that's great. If we don't, that's okay too. We can wrap this up at any point, but that's where we stand at the moment. And before we do wrap things up, I just want to say thanks everybody for the welcome back, and thanks for allowing me to be able to sit in this chair and do this on a weekly basis. So let me go ahead and see one more time if we have any additional late check-ins or any questions or comments. The floor is open. Net Control standing by.
Hey, Justin, this is Todd incoming. I've been listening to the net for the last 20 or 30 minutes after we got done with our dinner, and I wanted to chime in on the activities of the family. We enjoy the Bocce Ball, the Cornhole, and one thing that we started doing, or I started doing since the pandemic, was getting into the pizza craft. I do a pizza night every week for the family, and it's really brought us together, and my daughter likes the white pizzas. It's really brought us together, and my daughter likes the white pizzas, and the wife and I like them loaded up with all the meat and cheese.
Oh my golly. Todd, I've got a pizza story, but before we get to that, I just want to talk a little bit more about the pizza craft. I've not heard that term before. So these are all homemade pizzas that you're putting together. Do you have one of those stone pizza ovens, or how does that work?
Well, I do not have a pizza oven, but I have a pizza stone and a pizza steel, and I get it up to 550 degrees, heat it up for about an hour, and I make all my homemade dough, and I've been experimenting for the last year and a half since the pandemic, and my mom bought me some 00 flour, and sometimes I ferment my dough for about 3 days, and it is absolutely delicious.
Ah, so is that like a sourdough sort of a pizza crust?
Not really. Most of the pizza doughs are pretty much the same ingredients. It's your dough, your flour, some type of sugar, whether it's honey or regular sugar, maybe some salt, a little bit of olive oil, perhaps, a little dash of salt, and then your choice of the yeast, and some people will ferment them you do the rise for about an hour, let it double, and then let it sit, and then, but it's not really a sourdough, it's just a regular pizza dough, and the longer you let it ferment, the more bubbly the crust gets.
All right. Well, that's very fascinating stuff. And it sounds to me like a great a COVID project, because most of the stuff you can just do right there in your own kitchen and with your own equipment and whatnot. So I know that we've made several homemade pizzas over the years. Julie has found it's a crust that's not made out of any bread. It's I want to say broccoli, and I know that's not right. Cauliflower. It's a cauliflower crust, and I'm not a vegetable eater really. In a lot of the substitute vegetable things that I've experienced, I've not cared for, but the cauliflower crust is one that works for me. I can eat that and enjoy it. It doesn't taste like I'm not going to try to say it tastes just like a regular crust, but it has a texture that's similar to a regular pizza crust. And texture for me is a big element. Flavor is also important, but things have to feel the right way in my mouth. Otherwise, I have a difficult time with them. So, the cauliflower crust has been interesting. So I don't know that that's something you could. I suppose you could make it at home. I don't know why you couldn't, but I don't have any idea how it's made. But let me get to this story because this is one I think will have us all laughing. Let me break. So once upon a time, back in Indiana, a buddy of mine had an airplane, and it wasn't flight worthy when he bought it. It needed a lot of work, and it needed a lot of cleanup. And so my buddy and I would drive about 45 minutes to the hangar where the airplane was, where he had purchased it, and he was still getting his final certifications to be a pilot. He wasn't there yet, but he was weeks away from being completed. So this thing was happening. And we would drive over to the hangar, and on the way we would order a pizza. And he would call the place. We call the same place, many times. And after ordering the same thing over and over again, it got to the place where he would call and he'd say, "This is Tom, make me a pizza." But until they got to know who Tom was and what pizza he wanted, they would ask, what toppings do you want on the pizza? And he would say, everything that used to have a face, meaning a meat pizza, because we're guys and we want meat on our pizza. We don't need garden stuff. We want meat on our pizza. So he would say everything that used to have a face. So this was years ago. We still lived in Indiana. We've been in Georgia for 11 years. And I don't know what inspired this, but when we were at Julie's brother's place, let me break again, reset the repeaters. When we were at Julie's brother's place, we decided to get a pizza, and for some reason, it was Julie's job to order the pizza. So she called the pizza place. It rings for a long time. It quits ringing, and she has to call back. She calls back, and this goes on 2 or 3 times. Finally, someone answers the phone, and they put her on hold. They have her wait for a while, and then they come on to the phone, and Julie says, "Yeah, I'd like to order a pizza." And so I don't know what they said on the other end, but I hear her say, "A face pizza." And they hung up on her. They'd never heard. They thought she was pranking them. I don't know. They just hung up on her. I don't have time for this. So we had to play that whole dial the number, let it ring. It never got answered. Dial it again, let it ring. And then finally got through. And so Julie's sister-in-law took the phone away from her and placed the order. We ended up with a face pizza, but that's not what we ordered. So anyway, that was my pizza story. I thought it was hilarious that she thought that all pizza joints knew what a face pizza was. Probably none of you have ever heard of a face pizza, I'm betting. But if you have never heard of the term before, a face pizza, everything that used to have a face, meat. That's the kind of pizza that I typically enjoy. So thank you for that. I appreciate your comments, and that's fascinating stuff, Todd. Thanks. I'm also glad that you were able to come back to us here and jump in at the end. Any other check-ins, late check-ins, questions, comments? Net Control, standing by.
This is Atlanta 313, out of Rome, Jason, WRMH 246 for a late check-in. I'm sorry about that one.
All right, Atlanta 313, Jason in Rome. Got you in the log here, Jason, and that's quite all right. As long as you make it in before we close, then you're not really all that late. So you're in here. So while we've got you, do you have any questions or comments for the net? And can you tell us about any family activities that you like to engage in?
Yes, we used to play horseshoes and cook out all the time. And as my kids got older, we started separating a little bit, but now we're getting back together. We got to fish, cook out, and have a good time. And like y'all say, horseshoes. I've done the cornhole thing a couple of times. I'm just not too good at that one, though.
Yeah, I can relate. I'm not very good at cornhole either, or bocce ball, or horseshoes. You know, I can play those games, but I'm not very competitive, in my nature. For me, playing the game is about enjoying the game and the whole process. But I'm not one that's going to spend hours practicing, like my father-in-law does. He's very, very competitive, and he's pretty good. He likes to play in tournaments and that sort of thing. I just don't want to spend that kind of time at the game. I guess time is hard for me to come by, and I'm kind of careful about how I spend it. But horseshoes is also one that I've always enjoyed. I've never been really good at it, but you can still play the game as a novice and be able to score at it. And I got to tell you, I've got a fish story for you. Hold on. Let me break. I missed one there. Sorry about that, YouTube. You got a big old cough in your ear. My apologies. So once upon a time, I went fishing with my dad and a neighbor, and it was actually Atlanta 948. And we got skunked. We were out there for a few hours, and we all had a bite, but we didn't land anything. My dad had one that he had got to the boat, but it got off the hook before we got a net under it. It was the closest we got to catching a fish. So we came back empty-handed. And we were over at Gary's place putting the boat away, and we finished up with that. And Dad and I are walking across the backyard from Gary's place over to our place, and Mom was here at the time, and she comes out and she says, "Did you do any good?" I said, "Yeah, we did. We're going to have a fish fry." And she says, "Well, let me see what you caught." And I told her, "You can't. We dropped our fish off over at Kroger to get them cleaned." And boy, she bought that line. She was convinced that's exactly what happened right up until she saw the package that we went over to Kroger to pick up, and it said, I don't know what it said. It said haddock or something like that on it. So she thought you could drop fish off at Kroger and they would clean them for you. But yeah, I don't fish that well. So just in case you were thinking about inviting me along, just know in advance that you're probably not going to catch anything either.
Where we live, we've got a big lake behind us, and my oldest son went out about a week ago. He come back in with 42.5 blue channel depth.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, so how was that fish fry? Have they been, that's a lot of fish to clean and cook. Has that been done yet? Well, cool stuff, Jason. I'm glad you're able to make it in here right at the end, and great story. So do we have any other late check-ins or any other questions or comments? Net control standing by. The floor is open. All right. All right. Well, I think this is a great opportunity to roll this thing up tonight. This will conclude the North Georgia GMRS Regional Net. We had a total of 40 check-ins tonight, including myself. Net control will now be returning the repeaters back to normal use. Everyone who signed in should sign out. Thank you for allowing me to serve as your net control this evening. Good night, everyone. This is Atlanta 946, WQIR 514, and I'm clear.
Triumph 20, WRMB 225, clear.
All right, YouTube folks, you made it this far. I'm going to put the log up there again real quick so that you can see what we've got. And I'm going to go ahead and wrap this thing up. Thanks for hanging out with us this evening. I can't reach the fader over there to turn that down. Oh, I could do it here, though. That should work. All right. A little less graceful. But thanks again for hanging out with us this evening. I'm glad that you all made it with us, and I'm looking forward to catching up with all of you again real soon. Good night, everyone. This is Justin, Atlanta 946, WQIR 514, and I am clear.